Yo, what's good, fam? I'm here, my first podcast. I'm here blessed by the OG Shahad. She's been doing her thing,
Oh
she's guiding
my
me.
God.
She's here today, the vibes. How you doing, fam? It's been a hot minute.
It's been so long. I'm doing great and I'm so happy you're doing this. I'm so happy that I'm the first guest. I feel a little, a little
Fam, I
gassed.
fam, I seen your podcast and yo, they're straight fire.
Oh, thank you
Interesting.
so
We got
much.
some interesting perspectives, not only from you, from Shums too, and from all your other guests too. Bro, keeping up with
Yes.
it, it's sick.
Shout out to Shems. Shout out to my guests, but first and foremost, shout out to my sister Shems.
Shout
Yeah,
out.
thank you
Yeah,
so much. That
a
actually
big
means so much.
yo, trust me, fam. I've been listening to it literally.
Mhm.
What do you call it? Like on my drives. I was actually listening to it on my flight too. I was like, yo, let
On
me see
your
what this.
flight,
Yeah, yeah.
did my voice not make you want to jump out of the plane or
No,
what?
no, no, no. Relax, relax. No, 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 yo, bro. It's all about perspective. You know what I mean? If
Mm,
anything, this entire year taught me it's all about perspective. So,
no, 100%.
so before we get to the most important things, how is it? I just want to ask you because like I've also like I have my other friends that have moved by themselves. Chance moved by themselves. So
Yeah.
more importantly, how has it been adjusting for yourself? Life by yourself. It's a whole new atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, good question. Good first question. Look at you. But no, I moved basically 2019, 2 years ago. I don't know how when 2019
Yep.
was, but yeah. Going into my third year of uni and I'm studying overseas just to set the backgrounds for whoever's listening and like doesn't know who the hell I am. It's been like the most like the that decision has led to so many like life changing like personality traits in me. Like obviously my life changed like physically where I am, my setting, my experiences, all that stuff, what I'm studying. But like personally for me, I feel like if I didn't move, I'd be such a different person. And everybody I talk to, because most of my friends study overseas, like they leave Canada, wherever, and they study like UK, Ireland, all that stuff. And we just talk about it and we're like, there's just this one thing that our friends from back home can't relate to, and it's like having to be so uncomfortable in a foreign country by yourself, but like that's you did it, like that's your decision. So you just it
I was
makes
really,
you
I
basically out of
was,
your comfort zone. I'm
I was,
rambling. Yeah.
yo, that was so sick. Trust me, that was a sick decision. Any one of my friends
Thank
that
you.
have moved out by themselves,
Mhm.
yo, trust me, I did the exact same thing. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that's a sick decision. I feel like everyone should do that at least once. So like, because I've been traveling by myself too, right? Obviously, not the whole
Yeah.
same thing as like moving, but the thing is that I've learned so much about
Are
myself.
you
Getting
in
a
New
whole,
York? Are
I'm
you in
in
New
New
York
York.
right now? Ugh,
I am in
I
New
would
York.
literally die to be. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No,
New
no, you're
York,
good.
like I need to live there. I need at least just 6 months, just so I can say that. I
Bro,
lit every single hat that I see that says NY on it. I'm
bro,
buying it.
the vibes here are different. Like I've
Mm,
talked to people here, met new friends, gained their perspective. Not only
yeah.
that, but like the vibe here is different, even compared to like when I was in Cali. San
Mhm.
Fran's vibe are different. LA vibes are different, man.
Wow.
It's I've learned so much not only about like world itself, like how there's like if you think about it this way, I've always said this, but like there's over 7 billion people in the world, and we're just
Yeah.
living in like a fraction of its society. So we have no idea what like there's other people, other lifestyles. You
It's
know what I
crazy,
mean?
yeah.
It's
And
crazy to
what's
think
weird
about.
is that you've been traveling like it's the same country, Cali, New York. It's all the US, but it's still there's like this it allows you to expand your mind like culture wise, like how you like how you speak to people, different kinds of people. And
one Hundred
like you
percent.
said, like yeah, 7 billion people, me and you are two out of like the
Trust
7
me.
point whatever billion. And at the same time we're so important, but at the same time we're so can we swear on the podcast? I'm not gonna swear. We're so irrelevant, right? We're so
So we
irrelevant.
feel like so minuscule compared to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like who would have thought, knowing us back then? I always knew like you or Shams were going to take that step. You know what I mean? To like
Mm,
live out on your own. That's something I already knew. But what I didn't know was that my dumb ass gonna be like traveling. I've been out of home for over a month. I'm on vacay mode for over a month. Can you believe
I
that?
love that. I
You know what
love
I mean?
that.
You know what I
No
mean?
issues there.
Especially in the pandemic, it's jokes.
I know. But listen, there comes a point where yes, there's a pandemic ongoing, really bad in some parts of the world, but there's a point where there's you have to, okay, I'm vaccinated. Are you vaccinated?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yo, I got my
You're
second dose the second day I came to San Fran.
Yeah, so you're vaccinated. You're going to a country that has regulations that allows you to come in. Like you're following all the guidelines. What are we supposed to do until 2020? I'm graduating 2025. There's a high possibility I'm going to graduate online.
Yep.
Sorry, no, that's not going to happen. Like I'm just in denial now. I don't accept that COVID exists, which is
Yo, the
so
thing
bad.
is that like
But you know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. Like even before coming, I did all my research. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm,
planned this. So yo, here's the thing. This is what part kills me is that I jokingly told everyone that I was gonna come back when Lifetime opens. Ironically,
mm.
that's actually when I'm coming back is when Lifetime opens. It's just a meme that I
Yeah,
just manifested somehow.
yeah.
Um, that was jokes. Like I told it as a joke. I didn't even mean to be serious because taken, I was only supposed to be on vacay for 2 weeks. I left
Oh,
June
really?
7th. I was supposed to come back
Wow.
June 22nd. And check the date today.
Wow, we have a spontaneous podcast host,
Yo,
everybody.
bro, I was supposed to leave next week, and then I was just like, all right, never mind. I'm gonna leave next week. Like I was just
Honestly,
like,
bro, you deserve it. You deserve it. Look at your look at me. White wall. Look behind you. Green. Amazing. New York.
I'm telling you. Uh,
You deserve it, bro.
you know what, man? I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
And all your successes. Say with Shubs too. If she's hearing this, shout out to you, fam.
She
You know the
better
vibes
be.
are real.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
no, for real. Well, when I go back, it's just like I have a whole different perspective. It's gonna be different. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's gonna be a whole different vibe. That's the beauty of life, though. Like if
You
I
got
didn't
like
want to
a yeah.
I didn't want to stay at just one level. Like there's no satisfaction for me. It's
I
always
get you.
raising up.
I get you. You got like a refresh, like a reboot.
Oh
And
yeah.
you got yourself out of like kind of like a comfort zone where you're just like doing your daily routine, which is there's nothing wrong with having a daily routine, doing the same thing over and over and getting good at it. But there comes a point where you have to just change little things, or for you, like basically be away for a month from home. And when you come back, you're like, no, now I want to do this, start this, be more of this, whatever, whatever. Or, oh, that was so relaxing. When I was back in like back home, I didn't make a lot of time for
Yep.
myself to relax. So maybe I'll do more self care, all that stuff. So
Because
it's
like
great.
the way 2021 worked out is like everything was like fresh. Like mid year after April, I moved, new house, new car, and
Yeah.
everything. I have a new vacay. It just like a whole new mindset. So I'm like, you know what? Say less. We're gonna embrace this.
Brand new whip got no keys.
You know the
That's
vibe.
all
You know what
I
I'm saying.
started thinking.
Oh man, the memes are immaculate. That's all I can
No,
say.
2021 is the year of like I don't know. Well, yeah, it's a year of change. That's not really hard to that
It's
poetic
just
to say.
I believe it's just for those that want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yo, at one point, like, I was just sitting down, I'm just like, yo, I don't want this. Like, I can't do the same thing over and over and
Mhm.
over again. That wasn't for me. So that's why
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go somewhere that I have no idea where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the
nothing.
year
Take
where
this
like
in,
the elite succeed, you
bro.
know?
Take this in. None of this shit was planned. I didn't plan none of
Wow.
this.
I am such like an organized like Google Docs, like
Nah,
Google Drive, every single lunch, dinner, where we're gonna eat type of person. I am still fun and
okay,
spontaneous,
facts. What the
but
heck?
that's how I need to be organized. So I would love to do a trip like that one day where I'm just like, Shad, bro, just travel to this place, and then just figure it out.
Yo, that's literally what I did. I was just like, okay, I'm
That's
here.
sick.
I was just like, like when I went to LA, like I was there by myself for a few days. Then like Tala came afterwards. And I was just
Mhm.
like, all right, I'm here by myself in LA. I was like, I'm in Hollywood right now. I'm like, shit, what do I do? Uh,
Wow.
So I was just
Did you
like, I
see
was
any celebrities?
not wait, unfortunately not. But 3 years ago when I did come, I did see LeBron James Jr., Mr. Bronny himself at the Grove. I have witnessed
Wowza.
pretty much. That's the closest I got to a celebrity. That's all I could say. He's huge now, so I can actually say I met him once.
I feel like all the celebrities in Hollywood are like in different parts of the world now.
But see,
They're like
here's an important thing though. But
traveling.
what I realized is that we just categorize them as celebrities, even though, fam, if you take in, they're just regular people. Just
Yeah,
take this in. They're just regular people's regular emotions, regular feelings that just living their lives. Same as everybody else. You know what I
I
mean?
know. It's
If you
crazy
think
that
about that.
people idolize just regular ass people doing regular things. I mean, they're not really doing regular things compared to like my day-to-day life, but at the same time, like they're just a human being with the same
Exactly.
feelings. They eat, they sleep, they do they say the same stuff. So it's crazy to me, like, especially when now you can be labeled a celebrity or be famous so easily. Like, you go viral and then you're a celebrity. Have you been watching Too Hot to Handle?
Unfortunately,
It's so good.
stop
Listen,
this.
season 1
No,
was an season 2 is just like they're just so, like, dumb that it's, like, funny that you just next episode.
bro.
But it's like that type of show now makes them famous, makes them celebrities. Now they get paparazzi, now they get idolized. "Oh, I wanna do this, be like her, be like him," all that stuff, and it's like, where's what's normal? Like, what's wrong with regular ass people now? You know?
Exactly. Like that's the thing. It's just
Mm,
like they are doing the regular stuff. It's just people just want to people just want to be so focused on it that they just turn to be celebrities. Like for
yeah.
example, like they don't even have the intention to be one. They just be one.
Yeah,
You
which
know what
is
I mean?
honestly the best. It has good and bad sides. Like, that's just when you're like, it
I'm
genuinely
pretty sure they
happens
low
for
key hate
you.
it because they want their privacy.
Yeah, of course. And it's not easy. I'm not saying like, oh, you can go viral and then become famous, whatever, all that stuff. It's easy, like all that stuff. It has like the good and the bad, but I think to the regular person, the like we know the bad, but we're like, it's not that serious, like privacy, whatever. Like, you're rich. But it's such a difficult thing. Like, I was on like my explore page and I just see like famous couples on a date and there's pictures of what they're eating and doing. I'm like, who cares? Like, why do we care about this?
Exactly. They're just
So
going out
weird.
to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like if you
It
think about it,
must
like
be
take this in,
annoying.
like we if you think about it this way, like imagine like you know how we feel when our privacy is like invaded? We
Yeah.
rage, no? We're like, yo, stay out of
Oh,
here.
100%.
Now imagine how they feel. They have paparazzi and everything. They're always trying to figure out what they're doing with their lives. Some
Yeah,
are
that's why I
okay with it,
always
don't get me wrong, but some are just like that.
yeah, some get like trained, to be respectful. But I always like say this. I would like to be well known, but not famous, famous like that, because I know 100% my rage. I will literally like box out paparazzi. I will scream. Like, I'll be that person. And it'll be really hard for me to like, control like my anger because I find it so weird. I can't understand it. Like,
And I feel like in this day and age, people are just judgmental about everything without even
yeah,
knowing the backstory or whatever
yeah.
the case may be. Just like they see one simple thing and just instant, okay, they're
Mhm.
gonna assume it's this, they're gonna judge it's this
Yeah.
without even
And
knowing.
that's not even just with celebrities. Like,
That's what I'm
regular
saying.
people like me and you, regular people, we do it to each other, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
It's People are just judgmental.
Yo, it's just yo. The thing I learned is that so I learned how to counteract that though.
Yeah.
So like I learned through this whole
Tell us
trip.
about that.
Yo, I
Go on.
learned during this whole trip that like
Mhm.
okay, so not only for myself but for my friends as well. Like I learned that like I need to be friends. I need to be with people that are not only spontaneous as me. Like obviously, like I'm just going with the flow when I'm just vibing. Like not, I understand that not everyone has like that thing. But the thing is it's about commitment. Like for example, early on, if you're gonna stay committed, or you're gonna tell me that you're gonna be committed to it, and later on you're gonna give me excuses. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I'm going. Like I realize
One
that
of
like
my top 10, maybe 5 biggest pet peeves, people
yeah,
like that.
100%. I didn't realize until after because all I was doing, fam, I was just making excuses for them. I was like, you know what, they got work, they got this. Well,
Yeah.
I was letting them waste my time.
Mhm.
You know, I think that was the biggest factor. Is I was just like, yo, why was I letting anyone waste my time? You know what I mean?
The thing is, like, when you are like on this journey, or like you are a focused person, you have a passion, you want to do something, even if it's just a simple, like, let's say someone was traveling with you on this trip and they ended up canceling, they weren't serious about it, just stuff like this. Like, when you are so into it and you like step back to like the other person, like, that's maybe flaking on you, they are not passionate about it.
Yo,
So that
that's
kind of
exactly.
that makes you like, you're like, why are you not into this as much as I am? But at the end of the day, it's like, you need to find those people are easily replaceable. You know what I mean? If they gave you your word, they gave you their word, and they said, I'm gonna be there, we're gonna stick to this, and then all of a sudden they canceled, they're easily replaceable. Or you
Ex-
can do it on your own. You know what I mean? You don't
which is
need them.
which is what I'm doing, fam. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
literally that's exactly how it went. Where it's just like they're like, oh, you should have waited until July. You should have waited until this. We're like almost midway through July.
Mhm.
They don't have no plans. You know what I mean? They're not serious. Yeah, got commitments and whatever. I understand it's
July
their
11th, bro. What are you
shit.
saying?
Yo, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I've been here for so long. I'm losing
No, no,
track
I'm
of
saying like no, I'm saying we're literally through halfway through July. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're halfway through July, and they were making excuses like, "Yo,
yeah.
you should have waited for us. We would have had a lit time." And then like, I understand like you have other commitments, but you don't tell someone. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? You don't tell someone because like now all I expect from them is disappointments. Like I couldn't plan like a simple like you couldn't plan a college trip with them. You couldn't plan a simple trip. You know what I mean? It always
Yeah.
resulted in like simple excuses, but it's just like at the end of the day, it came down to what you said. They weren't as passionate about it. Like I said, I met
Yeah.
other people that were just like, for example, like at Best Buy, like, for my work friends, it was the easiest thing to plan. Like
Mhm.
this was the easiest
It doesn't
experience,
need to
and
be forced. You don't need to like you're trying to plan something fun. Why are you going out of your way to force someone to come do something? You're not asking them to, for like to do something for you that's like that's going to make their life difficult. You're planning
yeah,
something
exactly,
fun. Like why is it so difficult? And at the end of the day it's like you can't really blame them.
exactly.
Well, you can, but you also like you can't hold a grudge is what I'm trying to say
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, that's their vibe at the moment in life. They're not on the same wavelength or whatever like
and that's okay too. I realize that it's okay. They
yeah.
have their own separate wavelengths, as they should.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if people have the same wavelength, then like the Earth would be pretty boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all can't have the same vibes, which I understand. At the end of the day, it's just like okay. But the thing is, I think one of the bad things that they do, which I hate, pet peeves again, it's like saying you're going to do something and then flake last second, and it's like they'll take it as a joke, but it's just like, bro, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, that goes back to what I was trying to say, like, you're so passionate about it that, like, you take it as an insult when someone isn't equally passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Kind of like this podcast, if someone let's say you had a guest on, let's say I showed up 20 minutes late, I was like, "Oh, my bad, I was out. Oh, I came with, like" you know, "Oh, I came late," whatever it was, that's disrespectful towards you, but if I was that type of shitty person that didn't understand like your hustle or your what you're trying to get done, then that's not fair on you. But at the same time, it's like then that you just know that person, you're gonna put them in the trash, move on, find different
It's
people.
just on to the next. You know what I mean? Like yo,
On
like I
to the
said,
next.
there's always on to the next. And that's one of the one things I realized, bro. The 2021 and 2020 were literally probably the most experienceful.
Eye
Like
opening.
yeah, straight up. But that's
Yeah.
how I consider it. Cause like
Yeah.
thinking about it now, like I'm probably just I'm simply with like whatever I plan on doing, I'm just gonna leave it to God Himself and let it
Mhm.
be. Like if it's
Facts.
wrong, then I just accepted that like if it's wrong, then it's either that it's saving me from a bigger catastrophe or whatever the case may
Inshallah,
be.
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Just say inshallah and leave it.
No, exactly. That's it. That's all there is. You know what I
No,
mean?
but for real, yeah.
No, fact. It's
I get.
that's all there is to it. I was just like, you know what? If I made a mistake, I learned to like literally value that mistake. I'm like, you know what, this mistake,
Mhm.
it could have either led me down a bad path, or it would have saved me from something bigger. You know what I mean? Or I have something better, or God has something better planned for me. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
That applies to everything. Like the thing we were talking about now, like people are replaceable. That applies to people, applies to a job you couldn't get, applies to a certain like goal you had that you couldn't necessarily achieve. I don't want to say achieve, but maybe there's a different goal that's meant for you to achieve instead of that one that you had planned. So I think that's one thing that I learned. Like, I don't want to say this year or last year because of the COVID or anything, just in the last like while where I really felt myself like grow up out of high school
Yep.
basically is there's no reason to dwell over something ending, like a relationship ending, friendship, whatever it was, and take it as like, oh, like this obviously if it was a bad ending, like that's not what I'm trying to say. Like obviously I understand if people are going through something bad, but for me, if a friendship ended, I had to cut someone off, relationship ended, if I didn't get a job I wanted, something like that, if anything, I'm, like, happy about that because that means I got rid of something that was basically not for me, and now I'm not focused on that, I can focus on something that maybe is for me.
Yep,
You know what I mean? I feel like people just try to, especially with COVID, it's like we got lonely, all that stuff, so they try to, like, force things
way
that
too
are
much.
just not for them, and they don't even know who they are, what they want, all that stuff. Yeah, this topic is, like, such a
Trust me, say
it's a
we could go on
whole
hours.
book. Yeah,
It literally comes down to like people like again, it's like you said, people trying to force friendship, relationships without having
yeah,
that genuine bond. You know what I mean? It's just it's pretty interesting in the world we live in and what it's coming to. You know what I mean? Like I feel like later
yeah,
down the line, like at some point, universities and colleges are going to be like obsolete at one point because there's so
yeah.
many entrepreneurs that are saying don't go to college that are actually encouraging kids not to do that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's
Some
crazy.
people
Just
are, like, in grade 7, and like, "Oh, when I grow up, I wanna be a YouTuber." That's what they wanna do. Seriously.
because I know
So
I
weird.
100% agree. And then
Yeah.
going back to your point where it's just like about like relationships, friendships ending and stuff, it's just like there's
Mhm.
always a reason for that. And then what I came down to ultimately knowing is that we may plan as much as and we may plan as much as we want. Like you can organize, you can plan for whatever you want. The
Mhm.
thing is that because we're both Muslims, so the thing is that we both have the same concepts, which is that there's only one person, so there's only one like literally one deity that knows. Oh shit! There's only one
I
deity.
love
My bad.
love
I was
how
like,
into it you
I
are.
was like, yo, there's only one deity that
Yeah.
actually knows like everything about our life from A
Mhm.
to Z. And think about it. You know what I mean? And oftentimes, like I see myself questioning God too. Everyone does it.
Oh, 100%. If you're not questioning not your faith, if you're not questioning God or maybe,
It has nothing to do
trying
with
to
faith. It's just like, yo, why didn't this happen? Why didn't this happen? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or
Like,
like,
I understand that.
"Why did
Yeah,
this
yeah.
happen to me? Why is this like this?" If you're not having those thoughts, to me, like, personally, that doesn't mean that my belief system is as strong as it is. Because before, when I was younger, I let me explain that. When I was younger, I'd be like, "Oh, why is the world like this?"
Yep.
Or "Why does this happen to me?" Or "Why hasn't this happened to me that I've wanted, I've prayed for so long?" And I used to see it as like a bad thing. I'm like, "Oh my God, like I'm a bad Muslim, like I am this and that." But then now when I'm growing up, I'm like, that just means I'm going through enough things that I'm having that conversation with God.
Yep.
And this is getting so deep. I didn't even mean for it to happen, but I just
I
have this
told you
thought.
we go with the flow, fam. We
I know,
go with the flow.
I know, but lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Yeah, but now
Yeah.
that I have those type of thoughts, to me, I see it as like a good thing
Oh,
because then what's important to me is my thought process after I think those things,
'cause I
like
believe it's
where,
okay. I believe it's okay
you know
to
what I
ask
mean?
those. Yeah, it's 100%
Yeah.
okay to ask those questions like, why didn't this happen?
Mhm.
But it also leads down to what you're saying. It's how you approach it after.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah. I think that's what I've learned, like, kind of like, oh, if something isn't happening for me, there's probably a reason. And maybe I'm like thinking I'm doing the max amount of effort that I can do to get this done. But the universe, God, whatever you believe in, is basically saying, like, no, like you can do more, then we're gonna grant you that wish or the goal that you want, you know? Like we always think we are like, oh, I'm doing this, and we blame everything else but ourselves. But sometimes you gotta be like, oh, maybe I'm not trying hard enough. I should try harder.
There's like so much. It's just more internal questions. You keep asking those questions, and it all comes down to like you're not even questioning like God asking why or universe saying why didn't this happen.
Mm,
You're just saying you're asking yourself what went wrong. What did you do wrong? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like for example, past relationships or past friendships. You often thought, oh my God, this person was like this. It was like this. Why did
yeah,
it end? Or you're asking why did it end or whatever. But then you're asking yourself even more questions, just like how did I let myself do this or how you know what I mean? And
oh yeah,
ultimately, I believe it results in more growth.
oh,
We
100%.
have to go through extreme like the thing is that we have to go through. We're all given choices in the beginning. You know what I mean, right or wrong. It's how we approach it. Like if we know what's wrong, then God's gonna teach us. Like you know what I mean. You know those
Yeah,
things where it's just like you know it's wrong, but you're gonna do it anyways. And then God's pretty much like, yo, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn today, son.
yeah,
That's
100%.
literally in that.
That's happened to me so much. and maybe like even till like it's still gonna be happening. I'm gonna be doing so sorry. Oh my god.
No, 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 you good, you good.
Because our initial time was 9
No,
PM,
no,
right? So I had
you
an
good, you good.
alarm to remind myself to get ready. I'm
No,
so
no, you
sorry.
good, you good, you good, you good. Don't worry.
Okay. Wait, what was I saying so I can go back? I was saying,
Um,
oh yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah. So it's gonna keep happening though as you get older. Like you will basically like rack up things that you did wrong or ways you approached a friendship or relationship wrong. Maybe it was your fault or their fault and you just let it happen to you and then you let them treat you bad. And then at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you'll have all of these things as you get older. And then that's where marriage ends up working because you meet a person that has their own list of things that they've done wrong, combine them with your list, and then if it works, like you try to make it work. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
your
one hundred
experiences
percent.
with their experiences.
Because ultimately, that's what it like. If you think about it, how does one person learn, or how does one person grow? Right? It just all comes down from learning from experiences and mistakes. Otherwise, if one person keeps continuously thinking that they're perfect, it's not gonna like you can't learn from that. You know what I mean?
The prayer is going on outside. Can you hear it?
I actually can't.
Because I can hear it. Like you know how you can hear a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that when you go edit it later, you don't hear this.
No, I generally don't hear it.
Okay, because
That's
it's
sick
like
though.
really loud. Yeah.
But
Just want to
yo,
double
if you
check.
think about how many people have we met that think they're just flawless, that
Oh,
will
so
not
many.
that will not admit to their mistakes, that'll stay the same for not 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, that are just so full of themselves, not recognizing their own mistakes. Like they
Bit
have no
narcissistic.
accountability.
I used to be
Exactly.
a bit like that. I'm a stubborn person. Like I'm the type of person that's like, oh no, I'm right. I'm right. I was way worse before. Now I like to admit that I'm wrong sometimes because then that means for me I'm learning something, you know what I mean? But I think when you are doing it, you don't see that there's potential for growth until something kind of like hits you like you said, like you have to go through something really really horrible that kind of brings your ego down from like, sky high to a bit lower and you're like, "Oh, damn. Maybe I'm approaching a lot of things wrong. I need to fix up."
Exactly. And like um that's like how it is now with me. It's just like thinking how I want to move forward, like how like I like basically like thinking about how I was treated before, not with just relationships, but like friendships in general, and then going forward to how it's gonna be now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That taught
Mhm.
me a lot. Not just that, but about like pretty much life in general, I would say. It's been pretty eye opening.
Yeah.
And especially this trip that I've
Yeah.
been telling everyone, yo, traveling by yourself, it's I think um
So
it's
fun.
something that everyone, not just fun, but I believe everyone should experience it because it gets them out of their bubble, like you said. That's
Mhm.
what I was trying to do. I was trying to get out of my comfort zone, my bubble, because we all live in the same like Milton Saga GTA for so many years. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're only living in that bubble. It's like I want to go outside, experience it
There's so
myself.
much more.
There's
Yeah.
so much more to life than just that state, just that
Bro,
area.
so
You know?
many people are afraid to even go have dinner in a restaurant by themselves or they're afraid to
Yo,
like
I
make a
do it.
pizza order.
Yo, I do it regardless. I'm like, yo,
Listen, I know people are like that. If you're listening and you're like that, it's okay.
it's
You'll get
okay,
through
and
it.
it's okay too. Like
It's
it's there's,
okay.
there's no right or wrong. It's definitely okay.
Yeah. But something you need to work on. There's nothing wrong with going to dinner by yourself. I do it all the time when I'm like, you know what? I've been studying for 8 hours. I'm not really in the mood to speak. I just want to be quiet, but I want to change up my mood. I'm going to grab dinner, lunch by myself, chill, eat. What's the
No,
issue?
yo, exactly, and it all
It's
comes down.
amazing.
Bro, I've done it myself. I've gone to the movies myself. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Sick.
Yo,
That's
I
sick.
like I came into recognizing that like, yo, I love my company. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm just
Oh,
like,
that's a whole other thing. You need to have fun you need to know how to have fun by yourself. If you don't find yourself fun, how are your friends gonna find you fun, you know?
exactly, and it's just and it's that same question leads down to another series of questions, which is like we can go into it like in relationships. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like it all comes down to not relying on someone else for their like on their happiness, screeching off them. You know what I mean? You're
Mhm.
slowly basing it on yourself, but you're including them or they're including you.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it, and that's
The
that's
way
that's yeah.
the way I see that is like let's say me and you are going through this whole like self growth time in our life journey, whatever, it's not really like it's so hard to go through and you learn so much and you collect all this like all this information that makes you a better person. Why would I date someone that has no idea what the hell they're doing with their life and I'm gonna pass on like I'm not trying to sound like egotistical right now, but like you gotta be a little bit like you gotta be selfish with who
I
you're
don't think.
allowing yourself to date. It's like, why would I pass on all that knowledge and kind of be, because this is my issue. I've always been a mom, always.
Well,
Like,
I mean, you have, yeah.
never really dated, but like, just the conversations I have with guys, I've always just been, I feel like I'm always more mature. I'm always like the mom, and I feel like I'm passing on this knowledge or trying to fix someone so they can be better for the next person that they're speaking to. You know what I mean?
And that's
And
not how
now
it's
I'm just
supposed to
like,
be, you know?
"No, no,
Exactly.
no, no, thank you. I
Exactly, because
will delete your DM and block you. Thank you
yo,
very
because
much."
because like, yo, that's not our job, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
and the thing is, it go, and I agree with that too. Like, this is gonna go, like, we're gonna talk about this more in our next episode, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But this goes
Stay
against to,
tuned.
like, huh?
Stay tuned.
Facts. Y'all have no idea what you're missing. But it all
Yeah.
comes down to like same with guys and girls that are like that don't have goals, that don't have morals. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
just try to force it without actually getting to know the person, like knowing that like this person could actually take me to places. They're just stuck in one place. They don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just comes from a bad mindset.
100%. Mindset is the key word. Listen, when it comes to dating, listen, I'm not trying to look to date nobody anytime soon. But if you are and you're listening, Reza, if you're listen to this advice. This is my theory of how you need to find someone to date.
Like
Okay?
spit that fire.
It's not really fun. It's like common sense, but when you think of
Listen,
when you hear it out loud, you're like, "Oh, true. Okay, I'm not really looking for that." You know how people are like, "Oh, I look for personality over looks." Okay? You don't need to look for just personality. There's three different things. There's three key things. Looks, you got to find them attractive. Sorry to say it. If it's not there, the other like it won't be it's a package. Number 2, personality. Number 3 is what you said, it's mindset. Personality and mindset, two different things. Personality means he's funny, she's funny, family oriented, things you're looking for that you can relate to, music taste, all that stuff, kind. Mindset is someone can be kind and funny but they're going nowhere in life, or they have no goals, or they have, you know what I mean? Three different things. One is like it's not really mind, body, soul, but it's three different things. Look for all three of them
and let me just,
before you get into a
and I'm gonna
relationship.
add one more thing to that list.
Yeah, let's go.
So not only that, there's one more thing that a lot of people in this, and you know it too, in this world, in this dating world, a lot of people fail to recognize that people are flawed. We have
Yeah,
flaws. You know what I mean? And it's okay.
yeah.
Let's say for like, you know what I mean? Like if someone's habits, let's say, let's say if you're dating someone and their habits get to you, it should be a simple
Mhm.
conversation saying, "Yo, you know that bothers me. Just not do it." And the thing is that if that person cares for you, it should be as easy as, you know what, I take respect it. You know what I mean? It's either
Mm,
that you come to a compromise or you like, or they listen to you. You know what I mean? A lot
yeah.
of people feel not, like nowadays people are just like, oh, you do one simple mistake, nah, that's it.
Or
You're not
like the
allowed to.
red flags thing. Listen, there's red flags like he's cheated on 7 different
Okay, that's a
relationships.
whole different thing.
That's a thing. Or he's whatever, this and that. Or if she's I don't know. You know what I mean? Those are like if you see one, you're out type of thing. But there's also ones that are like I said before, you have a list of things that you've done wrong or things that have happened to you that turn into flaws or insecurities, and then you project them in this way that makes you look unattractive or makes you the other person think this and that. So you have to consider that the other person has those too and give them
Ex-
the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, it's like that's why I'm saying like mindset, personality, looks. You gotta really agree on those
yeah,
three things that they
because
have,
it,
like
yeah,
find them
100%.
attractive, all that. So then that will allow you to, like you said, look at their flaws and realize, okay, but their mindset's great, their personality is great, their looks are great. Their flaws don't really mean that much because that's something that we can work on,
Exactly.
you
And
know?
like, if you think about it,
Mic drop.
there's not a single person that's perfect. There's not a single person that doesn't
Oh
have
yeah,
flaws. You know what I mean? It's a given fact. It's literally a given fact.
for sure.
People with billions of dollars are unhappy. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We imagine like, yo, what if you had billions of dollars? they have billions of dollars. And don't get me wrong, I would love to have billions of dollars. And inshallah, one
Yeah.
day we will. We will. You know what I'm saying?
But there's
But
no money that can change that can fix your personality or your attitude. Like, sorry
I
to
don't
break it
know.
to you. Yeah. Yeah. That's free
It just
or
it all comes
worthless.
down. It honestly all comes down to
Mhm.
if the person's willing to learn to change themselves. That's what
Mhm.
I was. Where I felt so lost. You know what I mean? Where early on I was just so lost. Like I had no idea who I was, and I was just like, you know what? After it just came to a point where it just randomly just happened, where I just wanted to do all these things by myself. I just wanted to explore
Mhm.
myself because it ultimately came down to like how I want to be as a person, who I want to attract. By
Yeah.
that I mean like just my vibes. If people like one of the things I understood is that people are gonna like me, that's sick. But people are also not gonna like me, which is also fine too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep
That
it
means you're
moving.
doing something right that
Not in
that's
that
worth not
sense.
liking
Not in that
also.
sense, but like I mean in the sense that like I get it. Not like this. I mean in the sense that like people don't have the same wavelengths, right? People
Oh,
have their
yeah.
own. Like they don't necessarily need to like me, which is okay because they have their own preference. I'm talking
Mhm.
about like as a person, like as a vibes, but and that's okay too. Like because I
Yeah.
have supporters at the same time. Like I won't say
It means
they're
you're being
haters.
true to yourself. You're not
Yeah,
trying to change up, like, or fit different like, different people's, preference of personality or friendship, you know? You're
yeah,
just
and
being
also
yourself, and there's people that are not gonna like you, and there's perfectly fine with that. Like, you don't have to like me. I'm not gonna
yeah,
cry over
it's
it.
okay
It's
because like
okay.
exactly because I'm not gonna change my beliefs or set my like morals or
Mhm.
set aside my differences just so I can like just so I can get you to like me. Like I given up on
Yeah.
that. It
I'm
didn't
not that
like
bothered.
it wasn't worth it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've set aside my morals for a lot of people. I've given excuses for a lot of people, and I was like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Everyone's replaceable except for your mom, dad, family, that's it. Everyone else is replaceable.
all right. So we're gonna have to cut this one. Like
Yeah.
uh until we do our next one. What time? When are you gonna be free? Actually, we'll plan
Um
it out. We're gonna do it this week. You have your
Are
creative
you are
ideas.
you are you talking about what's the next one? Like the one about like the relationships and stuff?
Yeah, the one we posted. Yeah,
I thought you were doing that for your that's for your podcast too, right?
yeah.
Right?
Yes,
So we're doing 2 different episodes.
yeah. Because we got Shahad in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, Rasa,
I told you.
listen, I'm
Yeah.
not that interesting. I swear people are gonna click off 10 minutes in.
Yo, who cares about what people think, fam? Who
I'm
cares?
kidding.
Let them they want to click
Um,
off.
if you wanna do the second one right now, I'm
Bro,
down. If you
oh,
have
not
something
right
to
now.
do,
I got to cut.
we can yeah, if you need to cut, that's fine. We can do another time. Like just DM me. I'm
You
good.
good.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Around the
man.
same time, like evening ting.
Thank you. 7 hour difference.
Yeah. Because then the house is quiet too. Like no one's like in and out and like disrupting the peace of the
100%.
podcast. Yeah.
But you know what, man? It's been great catching up with you. I miss your vibes. I rate what
I
you're
miss your
doing.
vibes too.
You
I'm
know what
so
I'm
glad we
saying,
did
man?
this.
I can't wait till you're back one day. I say that because I have no
Yes.
idea when I'm coming back. But
Listen, GTA who? We don't
facts.
know.
No cap. That's all it is. You don't. If you know the vibes, you know. If you don't, then you don't know.
When you get back, they'll have a safe flight from whatever state you're gonna be in.
Exactly. That I love it. I love how you said whatever because I have no idea what I'm doing next,
Yeah, you
and
don't
that's the
know.
beauty of it.
Yes, that's the beauty of it.
You know what, man? Stay safe during these COVID times. Stay real to yourself. That's all that is.